Okay. Can you move for the adoption of the agenda then? I beg your pardon, somebody's talking. Can somebody move for the adoption of the agenda?
The head of the Chief Whip is up, ma'am. Chief Whip.
Chief Whip, I'm sorry, I did not, I don't have. Oh, thank you. Chief Whip, thank you. Followed by Siviwe, Honorable Member Siviwe.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I move that we adopt this agenda. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chief Whip. Honorable Kwahube.
Good morning, Speaker. I just wanted, just for clarity, whether we're going to be dealing with the timeline of the Section 89 committee under the draft program or not. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, I would suggest that we don't even discuss that when Honorable Lisuma presents the draft parliamentary program, then we entertain that item. Is that agreed?
No,
Yes.
Speaker, raise my hand.
Okay, Honorable Singh.
Mine's a different issue, Honorable Speaker. Good morning. I think Honorable Shivambu wanted to speak to the matter before.
Thank you very much, Honorable Singh. Honorable
I'll come back.
Thank you.
No, thank you very much, Speaker. I want to propose rather that before adopt the agenda, we should add as a separate item the timeline of the Section 89 panel in terms of what Parliament has to consider. So I think it must not be discussed as part of the broader program, because it's a special issue which is currently not necessarily narrowly a parliamentary program. So I want to suggest that it becomes part of an item on the agenda before we adopt it. That is my submission, Speaker. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Shivambu. Onwako. Honorable Papo, you have your hand up.
The Speaker, I just wanted to check because it was discussed last week. Is it going to be a special item or a matter rising? That's what I wanted to check.
It was discussed last week. Where?
Madam Speaker, may I assist, ma'am?
Honorable Singh? No, before that. Honorable Singh?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and good morning to colleagues. Honorable Speaker, there's just another matter that I think we have to discuss at some stage, and that's the presence of ministers in the House when questions have to be answered by them. It's more than one occasion that we've had difficulty where some ministers just cannot connect or whatever it is. And I don't know if it must be something for the Rules Committee or something that you can deal with, Honorable Speaker, because yesterday we had a very difficult time with the Minister of Communications, Nopal. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable Member. Honorable Ntlangwini.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Speaker, I want to support the proposal made by the Honorable Chief Whip of the EFF. Let's have a separate item on the agenda today. This matter was not discussed on the extension last week in the Programs Committee. So I think the Honorable Papo there is a bit opportunistic. Let's discuss it now on a separate item to discuss the timelines of the Commission. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Ntlangwini. Honorable members, the reason why I'm discouraging a discussion of this matter this morning, it is because yesterday I appeared before the Chief Whip's Forum, right, where I presented a full report about the circumstances which have led to this extension being granted. Honorable members had the opportunity to raise whatever questions, and I responded to clarify the issues, the reasons why we have reached this point where we are. And then at the end of the meeting, at the end of my interaction with the Chief Whips, I then made a request to the programming whip that it would be preferable that people should discuss the matter so that this morning at the programming committee, we do not discuss the matter, but rather receive a date on which to discuss this matter. I am fully aware, and I think that's what the judge says in his letter. There's a letter which I've circulated, honorable members, which is a letter which I've received from the panel, signed by the judge, that in that letter, the judge himself states that he's aware of the anxiety people may be having on this matter, but that they respectfully request.
Point of order, Honorable Speaker. On a point of order, please.
Yes, Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to appeal from you that let's agree to put timelines on the section 18 on this independent panel. That timeline is not against what we discussed yesterday, that we'll have to agree that when the report comes, what do we do with the report? I don't think it takes us back to what we have discussed yesterday, just that to agree on a timeline. Let's close it at that matter, at that point, agree on a timeline, then we'll be done with the matter. Thank you.
You want to give us the timeline now here before we get to the committee report? Honorable, what do you want? Do you want us to discuss the timeline here and now, or do you want that matter to be presented by the whip of the parliamentary program?
My addition to what is on the table now is that there's item 7, consideration of the parliamentary program. Then let's have 7.1 that will talk about the timeline for section 89. Let's just itemize it and deal with it at that point. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chief Whip. That's exactly what we were discussing here now. That maybe it is not the right time to discuss the issue because I had requested through your committee of Chief Whips that Honorable Lisuma should present a program at this meeting this morning. And this is what I was trying to clarify. Now, honorable members, are you adopting the agenda as is? Or are we adding that matter under 7.1? Honorable Shivambu?
No. I let's adopt the agenda with the inclusion of this item of the timelines of the panel as 7.1. So I just reaffirm in the initial proposal. Let us proceed like that.
Thank you very much, honorable members. Now, honorable members, so would you please then move for the adoption of this agenda?
I move, Honorable Speaker. Singh with the
Thank you,
amendment.
Honorable Singh. Thank you with the amendment. And can somebody then second?
Seconded, Speaker.
Thank you very much. Then we proceed, honorable members, to consider the minutes of the meeting of the 10th of November. Okay. Thank you very much. And somebody then move for the adoption of the minutes of the meeting of the 10th.
My hand is up, Honorable Speaker. I want to move for the adoption of these minutes as a true reflection of what we discussed in our previous meeting. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chief Whip of the Majority Party. And somebody second, Honorable Ntlangwini. Honorable Lisuma.
I move for the adoption and second the adoption of the minutes as a true reflection because I was present, Honorable Chief Speaker. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you very much, Honorable Lisuma. Honorable Shivambu, is that your old legacy hand or is it a new one?
No, I had raised the hand earlier. Now I'm gonna make interventions later.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, we then proceed to deal with matters arising out of the minutes. And I will then hand over to invite Mr. Kaso to take us through.
Madam Speaker, thank you so much and good morning to honorable members. I think there are basically three issues. The one relates to a request for a first reading debate on the bill, relocation of Parliament bill. Honorable Soma will speak to that when we get to the program. The second one has been dealt with, the issue of the Section 89. And we will also get some progress report on the electoral amendment bill when we get to the committee section report. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kaso. Honorable members, are there any other matters arising out of the minutes, or are there any comments on the issues raised by Mr. Kaso? None. In that case, then we proceed, honorable members, to deal with item number 5. And item number 5 will be presented by Ms. N. Kiba from the committee section. Ms. Kiba.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and good morning to all the honorable members and all my colleagues. Madam Speaker, let me address the issue of the electoral amendment bill before I start with my presentation. The Select Committee on Security of the NCOP is likely to propose amendments on the electoral amendment bill, which will mean that when that bill is returned by the NCOP on the 29th, there's a Portfolio Committee on Home Affairs will most likely have to meet again, either agree or disagree with the proposed amendments. So I thought it is important that I report on the developments with regard to that bill. If I move to the report, bills before the National Assembly committees, as at this morning, we have about 32 bills before the committees of the National Assembly. I will then move to slide number 3. On slide number 3, there is a bill, Prevention of Hate Crimes and Hate Speech Bill before Peace and Justice, which was intended to be finalized on the 16th. However, that committee is receiving more submissions on the bill and they require more time to deliberate on the bill before its adoption. Then we move to slide number 6, where we want to report that the 3 bills before the Standing Committee on Finance were finalized as planned, which is the Rates and Monetary Amounts Amendment Bill, as well as the Taxation Laws Amendment Bill and the Tax Administration Laws Amendment Bill. From that slide, we move to slide number 18, the matter before the ad hoc Joint Committee on Flood Disaster and Recovery Committee. This committee intends to finalize and adopt a report on its work today. The last reporting slide, Speaker, is on slide 19. There is a petition before the Portfolio Committee on Social Development. This committee also intends to finalize and adopt a report on this petition on the 30th of November. This concludes my report, Madam Speaker. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Kiba. Honorable members, that was the report. I see a hand of the Chief Whip of the Opposition.
Speaker, thank you very much. A question to Ms. Kiba and the team. She's mentioned that the electoral amendment bill is likely to go back to the Home Affairs Portfolio Committee. Now, I just want clarity again on whether or not does then that mean that whatever deliberations are done in that committee, they will have to serve before the House, before the House rises? Because I just think it's important for the planning of the program. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Honorable Kwahube. Ms. Kiba.
Thank you very much, Speaker. We were advised that Once the NCOP finalizes its work on that electoral amendment bill on the 29th of November, the Portfolio Committee on Home Affairs will then schedule its meeting on the 30th of November and adopting its report on that particular bill. So when I look at the parliamentary program, I noticed that the last sitting is on the 1st of December. So it will be up to the House to schedule that report of the committee for the 1st of December or sometime, Madam Speaker. So that's just the advice that we received from the committee. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Kiba. Mr. Castle, would you like to come in?
Ma'am, yes. I think when we deal with the program, we may need to touch on that. Ideally, you would want to create maybe a day or two for members to familiarize themselves with whatever amendments. It's not ideal that a bill is reported on today and it's dealt with the next day, but that would be for the programming whip to deal with the matter when we get to the program. Thank you.
Okay, then. Thank you very much, Mr. Castle. Honorable members, that was the report from the committee section. We now invite Dr. Mbata to present a report from the Bill's office.
Good morning, Honorable Speaker and Honorable members. Today I will use the list of bills currently before Parliament in order to offer an update on the number of bills that are on the order paper, bills that are before committees, and a bill that has been recently introduced and is to be referred to committees. The Committee on Finance reported on 4 bills which are highlighted, appearing in Section A. Number 7, we have the General Laws Anti-Money Laundering Amendment Bill, the Rate and Monetary Amounts Amendment Bill, the Taxation Laws Amendment Bill, and the Tax Administration Laws Amendment Bill. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Lisuma will indicate on the scheduling of these bills when she deals with the program. And the Bills Office is also processing the second official translation of these bills. In Section C, Honorable Speaker, I report on the introduction of the Relocation of Seat of Parliament Bill, which is B29 of 2022, a proposed Section 76 bill, and the bill is to be referred to committees after its first reading. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. That's all from us.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Mbata. Honorable members, the report of the Bill's office. Any comments? I don't see hands on my list. On the screen, okay, there's a hand of Honorable Shivambu.
No, thanks, Speaker. So we as EFF introduced the private members bill on the relocation of seat of Parliament, and I'm not sure as to which committee is specifically going to deal with that in the report that has been presented now as to, and what are the time frames of engagements? When do we start to deliberate on it and everything? So that is the clarity that I thought should be provided in this meeting.
I thought Ms. Dr. Mbata reported that after the first tabling of the bill, then the bill will be referred to the committee. But let me allow Mr. Castle to assist me here.
Madam Speaker, at this point, the view is that it would go to the Public Works Committee, but it's a matter that we are still discussing between ourselves and legal. But even before it gets to be referred to a committee, there is the step that it must first go through, which is the first reading debate on the bill, because there's been a specific request from the party for the bill to be to have a first reading debate on that bill. So Honorable Lisuma will deal with that, and once it has been debated without a decision, obviously, because there's no decision at that level, then it must go to a committee. But for now, Public Works has been mentioned, and we are discussing with the legal services just to check if that is the best committee to deal with the bill. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Kaso. Honorable members, I think that is the response. We then proceed, honorable members, to invite Honorable Lisuma to present the draft parliamentary program. Remember, Honorable Lisuma, that you have your parliamentary program, and then you have also 7.1, which deals with the Section 89 committee. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and good morning to your good self and colleagues. And thank you very much for the opportunity. I will talk to the program, which is the fourth quarter 2022, which we are in week 32. Let me start with my notes, Honorable Chair, Speaker, if you may allow me, before I walk through quickly in a more summative way the program is flighted. That noting that point one, noting that the Chief Whips Forum doesn't take any decisions. This committee that is chaired by a good self do that in terms of taking decisions and or confirming or amending whatever would have presented here. But I must confirm, Honorable Speaker, that the draft program was tabled before the Chief Whips Forum yesterday. And correctly so, some of the matters were discussed and we were advised to ensure that they reflect in the program, whether it's 2022 or moving forward. And that's what, but secondly, even the item that is not on the agenda item, just for completeness on other matters that were also presented before the Chief Whips Forum for next week, is the draft framework of 2023. So I thought I must just be open on that. Secondly, Chair, we will continue working in terms of providing more space for mini plenaries when time permits, based on the program that would have been adopted by this meeting. However, the members, I would like to draw to their attention that previously there was a proposal that we might as well use Fridays, and that one was totally rejected. Hence, then, this quarter is very short because we are just left with 2 weeks before the House rises. Thirdly, Chair, which is in the program, but I thought we should talk to, is the CGE report that is reflected. You'll notice it has been reflected. It's a more of a technical amendment which addresses the actual terms of office. When do they start and when do they end? And secondly, in terms of priorities, and the committee has dealt with that, and the report has been 80 seat. Hence, it is reflected in today's program that we are going to table. But there will be no iteration. The chairperson will reintroduce the report and highlight those technical amendments, and then it will be then for the House, up to the House, what to do with it. The other one that I would like to talk to, which is moving forward, will reflect, is the training schedules, having process due protocols, follow due protocols of Parliament or NA shall be reflected. The e-voting one will be reflected in the next year's program. The rest it will be the same in terms of the e-disclosure as circulated to all info for honorable members to be aware of. The one that Mr. Kaso has spoken to, but for completeness of the program, if I may, is that we have received that the members' private bill for its first reading. As a matter of principle and consistency, Honorable Speaker, there was no problem in the Chief Whips Forum that it will be discussed at a mini plenary. Then after that, it will be referred to the relevant committee, having determined the relevant committee to deal with the private members' bill. The fourth one, Chair, that we would like to talk to, which also has been discussed here, as noticed that the Section 89 as correctly as earlier on has been also said by the Chief Whip of the majority party, noting without undermining that it should be a separate item, but for the completeness of our report, we must talk through because it's coupled with the Electoral Reforms Amendment Bill and as well as the Section 89 report that we are suggesting, having followed due processes in terms of consultation, that the 6th of December, a hybrid mini plenary sitting of the House must be scheduled to deal with those matters. Chair, Honorable Chair and members, if then we can go quickly to the program. Why we're going through the program is because the international and domestic diary last week was not reflected and now has been populated, that we will have this quarter a UN Climate Change Conference, which is already underway from the 7th to the 18th of November in Egypt, as well as secondly is the 4th Commonwealth Parliamentarians with Disabilities Conference from the 14th to the 18th of November 2022 in Tanzania, as well as SADC PF executive meetings, which are virtual meetings from the 18th to the 19th of November. We would like to highlight today, as we are in week 32, that this afternoon there'll be hybrid sitting questions to the Honorable Deputy President. If we may just go down to week, week 33, as I indicated, as it's indicated there in red in terms of e-disclosure members training. The rest, Honorable Speaker, it hasn't changed, it's still the same. If we can scroll it down. We did promise, the only thing that what we have populated is that in week 33 is that we have populated the BRRR's report after there have been 80 seats, which is a work in progress until the committees do finalize that. However, then let's go down if we may. I would like just to talk to the last footnote, if I may. The rest hasn't changed, so I'm not talking to it. Is at the bottom, it's at the bottom, the one that speaks to the constituency period and recess leave for members. Just for completeness, that from the 5th to the 15th of December, it will be constituency period. However, it must be noted then the 6th, which is Tuesday, then would be the suggested sitting of the National Assembly to deal with those two reports. Other than that, the leave then is from 19th to the 6th of December. And thank you very much, Honorable Speaker and members. If there are any great technical omissions that I would have made, through your permission, Mr. Kaso, I'll request him to assist on that. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Lisuma. Honorable members, that was the report from Honorable Lisuma of the Programming Committee. I see the hand of the Chief Whip of the majority of the opposition party, Honorable Siviwe, and then Honorable Singh, then Honorable Majodina.
Thank you, Speaker, and thank you to Honorable Lisuma. I think that the proposal to consider the two reports on the 6th of December is a welcomed one, because I think, Speaker, it's important that this matter is wrapped up before the Parliament rises, particularly the Section 89 report. And so I just wanted to find out from Mr. Kaso, in terms of the process, then will it be ATC'd, and will the matter serve before Parliament as any ordinary report that is considered with declarations from various political parties? If we can just get just clarity on how that will be dealt with. But I think it's important that the Section 89 report is dealt with before the year ends. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Wahube. Then Honorable Singh.
No, thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. I also want to welcome the 6th of December as being set aside to deal with those two matters, and just following on Honourable Kwaruba process with Section 89, and also what time are we proposing to sit on that 6th of December, so we can let our members know. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Singh. Honorable Chief Whip of the Majority Party.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Members. Honorable Speaker, I fully agree with the 6th of December for the Section 89 report to be debated in the House. When it comes to the NCOP amendments on electoral forms, will be informed properly after the Committee of Home Affairs have met. But it is important that we plan for any eventuality and any other matter that might need our urgent attention as NA. Let the 6th of December be our last day. So meaning that we only run on the 6th, no longer on the 1st. So it will give us time to package whatever that is urgent to be taken to the 6th of December. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I want to further request that Honorable Lesoma give us a framework for 2023 so as to assist our planning. What is going to happen in 2023, just a framework of that program, notwithstanding that we have not as yet met at a joint programming with NCOP, but this platform will assist us so that when a joint programming committee is meeting, at least as NA, we have agreed on what should be on the program for 2023. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chief Whip. Are you requesting her to do that at this meeting or at the next programming committee meeting?
I was suggesting with your indulgence, chair of NAPC, that if he can do it now, because my fear is that even NCOP is going to rise soon, and if we don't discuss now, it might be difficult for us to have a joint programming committee and be able to input as the NA. Hence my request. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Bissouma. Are you ready with the framework for the
Honorable Speaker,
2023? Yes,
Honorable
Singh.
Sorry to intervene. Could we deal with the matter of the 6th of December and then move on to 2023 so we finalize that? Sure.
Thank you very much. Whilst you are prepared, Honorable Bissouma, there's a proposal. Then my next hand on the list is Honorable Shivambu.
No, thank you, Speaker. So we welcome that we will get the Section 89 independent experts report that will be discussed by Parliament on the 6th. So let's get that, but let us not close door to what could be certain recommendations from that particular report, because if there are certain things which perhaps Parliament is expected to engage in, let's have a consideration as to what are the possible recommendations that can come out of that report so that we do not go to a recess without having exhausted some of the key issues that might arise out of that report. It's obviously not safe to just have the 6th as the last day when a report which might have some parliamentary recommendations is going to be tabled, but let's open the door in terms of what are the possibilities of what might arise out of that report. Otherwise, let us get the report before the end of this particular year in terms of the parliament. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Shivambu. Mr. Kaso?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. There was a question as to whether the report will be published before it's dealt with by the House. Yes, the answer is yes. And I think that was the only question that was asked. In terms of voting, this is a report. It's not, there's no special majority. So it's a report at this point, so that we will follow that process of voting on a report. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kaso. Is there any other hand? None. It seems to me we've now reached the end of this meeting. There isn't any other matter, honorable members.
Madam Speaker.
But there is, yes.
Ma'am, I think Honorable Lesuma was still to give the highlights on the framework for next year.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Kaso. Yes, Honorable Lesuma.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. And thanks once more for the opportunity. Let's just see here. Okay, we will talk to the framework, Honorable Speaker. That safe to say that the program which is, I think, is important worth noting. It would be at our left-hand side would be the NA, the right-hand side is NSOP. So what I'll be talking to is the NA schedule program, a draft framework. That what the framework talks to is the allocation of plenaries, committees, dedicated oversight weeks, and constituent period and the leave. But it must be noted, Honourable Speaker and members, that we have given more time for constituency period as the members have requested previously. The key factors that are taken into consideration following are this: one, in February is the State of the Nation address, equally, and its debates, which takes 3 days in total, as well as in same month, which is February, is the national budget. And in May and June is the budget vote debates. In June is the main appropriation bill, and also the sectoral parliaments program or parliament sittings, which will be the youth parliament. In June and August is the women. And next year it won't reflect, Honorable Speaker, because the men's parliament, which I think it's known that it was scheduled for this year. It sits by yearly. The budgetary review, or known as BRRs, in October, as well as the midterm policy statement. And in November, then it's adjustment appropriation bill.
Apologies, ma'am. Can we ask our colleagues to just put the program on the screen, please?
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you.
We must say then all that have been made, but safe to say, for completeness, also for being scientific in terms of the allocation of weeks to various quarters, Honorable Speaker, in comparison to this year in question, under discussion to what I've said, that we've allocated more time to the constituent period and the leave, is that 2022, in terms of the plenaries and committees, it was 24.5 weeks. 2023, we are suggesting that we allocate 22.5 weeks and 5 weeks for committees. You could see that there has been then a decrease. If you go to dedicated oversight, for this year under review is 3 weeks. For 2023 is 2 weeks. Lastly, for constituency period, 2022 is 15 weeks, including the leave, which is 4 weeks. Then if you go to 2023, we have allocated 18 weeks for constituency period, and we retain 4 weeks for the leave for members. For quarters, in summary, Honorable Speaker, if I may do that, which I'll assume after this meeting will be circulated to honorable members. The first term, as I indicated, it will talk to that, which is the SONA and all that. Then I would not necessarily repeat, but to say that I did indicate that a week or first quarter is from the 24th of January to the 6th of April, as well as the second quarter, 18 April to June 15. And then the third quarter is from 29th of August to the 23rd of September. Lastly, then the fourth quarter was the last quarter of the year. It's the 10th December to the 1st, is 10th October to the 1st of December. with that, we are presenting the draft framework, and I did indicate what informs the framework. We will continuously, when we populate the actual quarters, take to account the trainings, the imported calendar year dates that needs to be recognized by Parliament, as well as the Joint Standing Committee's calendar and international fora diaries. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker and members.
Thank you very much, Honorable Lisuma. Honorable members, that was a report from Honorable Lisuma. I see the hand of the Chief Whip of the Majority Party. Yes, I recognize your hand.
Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. One welcomes this draft program of framework for 2023. Can I apologize, Speaker, that I forgot something on the previous program, the fourth term. According to the program, there is a men's parliament on Monday and Tuesday. What is this thing all about? We seem to have lost the track as the NA. There is a women's parliament and the review of the women's charter, which on several times in the Chief Whip's Forum we've been talking about this, that now it has lost to be a parliamentary program. It becomes an NCOP program. Can we be updated on the men's conference or men's parliament that is supposed to take place on Monday and Tuesday? What is our role as NA there, and what is the nature of this program and the objectives this year? Because we usually come up with a concept document of which one have not seen that. Previously, we said we cannot be convening meetings for people to talk and talk. The next engagement should be about accountability and progress report, as we've done with the women and youth. What is the nature of this men's parliament that is taking place on Monday and Tuesday? Who attends? Thank you.
Very much. Chief Whip of the Majority Party, Mr. Tasso, would you please give a report?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Just to say firstly that we have circulated the draft program this morning, and also some explanatory note. I think at the outset, ma'am, we must indicate that the program has really been driven largely from the side of the Deputy Chair of the NCOP. And of course, this is one of the areas where Deputy Speaker would have been involved. And I think I must take responsibility for that in terms of the gap from the side of the NA for the involvement. We are discussing with the Office of the Deputy Chair just to establish in terms of the participation of members. But it's largely a SANAC-driven process, which is hosted by Parliament. And this session is supposed to get some feedback from the different, from the men's sector, basically from the different provinces who will be coming. The venue is an NCOP chamber. It's a hybrid session, and it's at this time just to be in line with the issue of what happens in this month. And it's supposed to be held once in 2 years. So the program has been circulated, and the explanatory notes has been circulated. But as I say, we are still finalizing the final details, and I will be briefing Speaker properly, because again, Speaker was not briefed by us properly on this matter, and we apologize for that. And we'll inform the honorable members just in terms of what is expected from our side. But largely, it's outsiders who will be participating as the program reflects, and the involvement of the two houses will be finalized in the course of the day. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tasso. Honorable Swart.
Thank you, Speaker. Morning. The challenge is that it's already Thursday, and I appreciate the document has now been circulated. Mr. Tasso, I missed something as to who you said is driving the program. Surely, and it's regrettable, I understand the Deputy Speaker not being possibly involved, but it's regrettable that we didn't have a greater say in this, given that when it's a men's parliament, it obviously should include the NA as well. So it's already Thursday. We're already busy next week. And it's regrettable if this is only held every 2 years. Why is it being finalized literally a few days before it takes place? So I want to express concerns because obviously there are some political parties that are not represented in the NCOP. And I think that we need to take note of that as well. It's a challenge now if we receive an invitation later today or tomorrow that we need to attend or whatever. It's a challenge given the lateness of the day. And I appreciate, Mr. Kasi, you did apologize. But I think this is a learning curve. We seem to have this problem with these sectoral parliaments continually, very late notice at a very late stage. I have been asking for information the past couple of days via my staff members, and it seems that it's only at a very late stage that this was made available. But I just want to understand who Mr. Kasi said is driving this process. I understand the NCOP, but you said something else like SANEC or something like that. Maybe I just get clarity on that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Swart, Honorable Swart. Mr. Kaso?
Yes, just to say that politically,
You want to respond to that?
Yes, Madam Speaker. Politically, from Parliament at this point is the Deputy Chair of the NCOP. But in terms of the sector itself, it's the SANAC men's sector, men's movement. So that is the one that is basically driving the process. Thanks.
Thank you very much,
I'm sorry. Chair, Speaker, I'm so sorry. May I just follow up? Who is the SANEC men's movement? Why are they driving the process? Is this probably done historically? And I think this just highlights it. Maybe I presume it was done, but what does SANEC stand for? Maybe we just get more information in that. Thank you.
Yes. Ma'am, may I request that I provide the information? I will do a note shortly after this meeting in terms of where this comes from, and of course what SANEC does around the issues of the men's sector. I will provide the information to honorable members in writing.
Thank you very much, on Mr. Kaso. There is a matter which was raised by the Chief Whip of the Majority Party as to who attends the meeting. Who will attend the meetings? I guess it's whether members of Parliament are expected to attend and so on. Can you please clarify that? I see her hand again now. Honorable Machotina, I see Chief Whip, you have your hand up.
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we are very clear on the Youth Parliament. We know exactly what our role is. We are very clear on the Women's Parliament. We know what our role is. And SANAC, which is the South African National AIDS Council, as far as I know, it is driven by the office of the Deputy President as the chair of SANAC. Then where do we feature? Well, why is it then called a men's parliament? Where are the men of parliament? Because when it's women's parliament, women parliamentarians are involved there. When it's youth parliament, the youth across parties in the NA and NCOP are involved. Who is involved in this men's parliament? Must it be called men's parliament and be hosted by parliament? That is the confusion that I have. Or around this matter, not against it, but where do we feature as Parliament in this men's forum?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chief Whip. You know, my understanding last year, for instance, this forum was attended by the Deputy Speaker. It seems the Deputy Speaker and the Deputy Chair of the NCOP are the ones who are at the center of coordinating together with SANAC, this particular forum. Now, I want to request that I see your hand, Honorable Imam Sheikh, and if it is about this matter, I'd rather we don't discuss the matter now, because even as Mr. Kaso was talking earlier on, there's been a bit of a challenge that we have not been informed about this. It is happening next week. And we were discussing together because next week we are having the speakers forum. So I was, just before we started this meeting, we were having an engagement on the same matter. Will you please allow us and allow Mr. Kaso to then do the note which he has promised to circulate to all the parties, and we leave it at that. Now, I would assume that, I don't know, I hear that it is going to be here at the NCOP chamber. Last year it was somewhere in Johannesburg, right? So I would assume that in the notes, Mr. Kaso will indicate, because I would expect that members of parliament will be expected to attend. So it can't just be a civil society matter. I would imagine that the civil society is partnering with us, and therefore there will be an invitation extended to members of parliament. So please allow me to then give space to Mr. Kaso to prepare the note and make sure that it is circulated before the end of the day, before we leave, before the adjournment of session today. Is that agreed, Honorable Chief Whip? I know I can see your face tells it off. You are unhappy, but please, honorable members, let's not discuss the matter. Let's just allow for us to get this clarity which we need and get an understanding as to whether, in fact, there will be people invited. But as I say, last year, how I got to know about it was when the Deputy Speaker was leaving and attending the men's forum. So maybe, as you say, we need to just get an understanding of how it is structured, how it relates to Parliament, in the same way that the Women's Parliament and even the Children's Parliament, in the same way that they relate to our Parliament. I am sure that even the Deputy Chair of the NCOP will be able to provide us with more information. If the note, which is to be circulated before the end of the day today, it does not give or provide answers to members, then at the meeting next week of the programming committee, even though the next parliament shall have passed by then, I will still request that there be a proper presentation of the matter to the NCOP, so that to the NAPC or even to the Chief Whip's Forum for an engagement. Is that agreed, honorable members? No response, you're not happy. Honorable members, we've now reached the end of this meeting, and I am now adjourning this meeting to next week. Thank you very much, honorable members.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Members.
Thank you, honorable.
Men's forum without men, men's parliament.
Recording
without
stopped.
Men who are in parliament.
Absolutely.
Sizawuya. Ayathenda.
Thank you.